Britain entered the 1990s convinced it had finally solved its motoring problems. New badges, new technology, and bold promises filled every showroom across the country. Buyers believed cleverness had replaced the chaos of the past. Some cars looked brilliant, some sounded brilliant, a few even felt like genuine British triumphs on the test drive home, but behind the polished bonnets, old habits lingered longer than anyone admitted. This countdown reveals 10 British cars that seemed like smart decisions in the showroom, yet quietly became sources of regret on the driveway. And by number 1, one car became something owners still find genuinely embarrassing to discuss. Number 10. Reliant Scimitar SST. Reliant launched the Scimitar SST in 1990, a facelift version of the earlier SS1, built at their Tamworth factory. It promised something genuinely tempting, a small, affordable British sports car with fiberglass bodywork and proper rear-wheel drive handling, powered by either a Ford 1.4-litre engine or a livelier Nissan-sourced 1.8-litre turbo. For buyers priced out of Lotus ownership, it seemed like a clever compromise. The new monocoque-style construction promised to fix the panel gap problems that had plagued its predecessor. The interior borrowed parts from Fords and Astons, which kept costs sensible but never felt special. Styling remained the real sticking point. Even sympathetic reviewers admitted the exterior detailing looked awkward, almost like mismatched components bolted together. Then in 1989, Mazda unveiled the MX-5, and everything changed overnight. The Reliant suddenly looked dated, quirky rather than charming. Owners found parts availability shrinking as Reliant's fortunes declined through the decade. Would you have chosen a Scimitar over a Mazda back then? That question alone explains why so few survive today. But Britain's next car proved that even trusted family names could fumble a golden opportunity. Number 9. Rover Metro. The Metro had been Britain's answer to European supermina since 1980, and by the early 1990s it had been rebadged as the Rover Metro, complete with fresher styling and updated engines. Longbridge assembled it for buyers wanting compact, affordable, practical transport. It seemed a safe choice for first-time drivers and small families across the country. The name Rover implied a step-up market from its humble Austin origins. Inside, the cabin felt cozy rather than cramped, with practicality baked into every panel. Engine options ranged from economical 1.1-litre units through to livelier 1.4-litre variants for those wanting a bit more pep on the motorway. The driving experience was competent, if unremarkable, exactly what commuters expected. But that wasn't even the worst part of owning one long-term. Rust crept into sills and wheel arches faster than many owners expected from a supposedly modernized design. Electrical gremlins frustrated dealers, and resale values sagged badly against Japanese rivals offering better reliability records. Do you remember seeing these on every British street? They were everywhere then, and almost invisible now. The next car solved one weakness but created two more entirely unexpected headaches. Number 8. Rover 200. Rover's 200 series arrived with genuine ambition, built through the 1990s in both R8 and later R3 generations at Longbridge, positioned as an aspirational alternative to the Ford Escort and Volkswagen Golf. Buyers were drawn in by curvaceous styling, a smartly finished interior, and the sense that Rover had finally matched Japanese build quality following its partnership with Honda. Some early examples even backed up that promise convincingly. Trim levels ranged from humble runabouts to sporty GTI variants, with engines spanning 1.4-litre and 1.6-litre petrol units up to sportier options and later diesel choices. The interior felt genuinely premium for its class, another reason buyers happily paid Rover prices over rival superminis. Things became stranger once the K-Series engine's reputation caught up with the brand. Head gasket failure became a defining flaw, striking cars that had been meticulously maintained. The fragile head gasket issue on K-Series engines still sticks with these cars today. Owners faced expensive repairs nobody had budgeted for. That should have been the warning sign for what Rover's mid-engine sports car would repeat. Number 7. MGF. Launched in 1995, the MGF revived a beloved badge that had been dormant since the MGB, and it did something no previous MG road car had attempted. Rover unveiled the mid-engined MGF on the 8th of March, 1995, initially with a 1.8-litre K-Series engine before a more powerful VVC variant joined the range. Enthusiasts were thrilled. Here, finally, was a proper British roadster competing directly against Mazda's runaway success story. The styling echoed the classic MGB nose, while underneath sat clever Hydriger's suspension borrowed partly from Aston Metro engineering, delivering genuinely impressive handling balance. Buyers loved the driving experience, the accessible price, and the sense of patriotic pride behind the wheel. But the real surprise came later, once ownership stretched beyond the first year. Build quality problems and common head gasket failure caused the MGF to perform very badly in customer satisfaction surveys. Hydriger's spheres deteriorated, lowering the ride height and ruining that celebrated handling. Would you have trusted a mid-engined MG over a Mazda MX-5? Many buyers wished they had. The next car aimed even higher and fell even further from expectations. Number 6. Jaguar XJS. Jaguar's XJS soldiered into the 1990s as a genuine icon, a grand tourer wearing one of Britain's most respected badges, still sold with either a smooth straight 6 or a magnificent V12 engine beneath its long bonnet. Buyers who chose one weren't simply purchasing transport. They were buying into decades of British motoring prestige, elegant proportions, and effortless cruising ability that few rivals could match. Inside sat leather, wood veneer, and switchgear that whispered luxury at every touch. The driving experience favored relaxed grand touring over sharp agility, perfectly suited to sweeping British motorways. That was precisely the appeal for its target buyer, someone seeking comfort rather than outright thrills. Owners soon discovered something nobody expected once the warranty period ended, though. The electrical systems earned a genuinely poor reputation for erratic faults that dealers struggled to diagnose consistently. Combined with thirsty V12 running costs and expensive parts, many owners found prestige ownership becoming a financial embarrassment rather than a pleasure. If you're enjoying these forgotten British motoring stories, tell us which car has surprised you most so far. The next car brought Britain's off-road ambitions crashing into everyday reality. Number 5. Land Rover Discovery. Land Rover launched the Discovery to bridge the gap between the utilitarian Defender and the luxurious Range Rover, giving British families a genuinely capable 7-seat off-roader throughout the 1990s. It promised rugged charm alongside practical everyday usability, wrapped in distinctive stepped roofline styling that instantly became recognizable on British roads and school runs alike. Buyers loved the commanding driving position and genuine off-road ability, backed by proven V8 petrol engines and increasingly popular diesel options for lower running costs. The interior felt characterful rather than clinical, with quirky design touches that owners genuinely appreciated. But things became stranger once daily reliability entered the conversation. Fuel consumption proved heavy for family use, while maintenance and repair costs climbed steadily higher than rivals. Reports consistently highlighted the Discovery among Britain's more troublesome ownership experiences of the decade. Have you ever regretted buying a car that looked perfect on paper? Many Discovery owners understood that feeling intimately. But the biggest embarrassment is still 4 cars away. Number 4. Vauxhall Vectra. Vauxhall launched the Vectra in October 1995 to replace the much-loved Cavalier, promising a genuine leap forward for Britain's biggest-selling company car segment. Built with a substantial development budget, it arrived with a huge television campaign calling it the car for the next millennium. Buyers who trusted Vauxhall for years expected the natural successor to a genuinely reliable predecessor. Engine choices spanned modest 1.6-litre units through to punchier 2.0-litre and even a 2.5-litre V6, with turbo diesel options joining shortly after launch. The interior felt spacious, if unremarkable, and the driving experience prioritized motorway comfort over excitement. That wasn't discovered until months later, though, when early cars began revealing their weaknesses. Early Vectras suffered badly with wonky suspension and leaking coolant, with some examples rusting badly around the rear wheel arches. The car became a byword for company car dullness, memorably savaged on television by a well-known motoring presenter who struggled to find anything interesting to say about it. Would you have chosen a Vectra over a Cavalier back then? Many buyers wished they'd stuck with the old model instead. Number 3. TVR Chimaera. TVR built the Chimaera through the 1990s as a genuinely thrilling alternative to expensive European sports cars, powered by muscular Rover V8 engines and wrapped in dramatic fiberglass bodywork from the Blackpool factory. Enthusiasts adored the raw, unfiltered driving experience it delivered, something increasingly rare as rivals softened their cars with electronic safety nets and creature comforts. The interior felt handcrafted rather than mass-produced, with leather and switchgear that varied noticeably between individual cars. That variation became the defining characteristic of TVR ownership. The brand carried a reputation built on inconsistent workmanship between cars, meaning some owners enjoyed trouble-free motoring while others faced expensive repairs regularly. The driving experience itself remained genuinely exciting, with serious performance and communicative handling that die-hard fans still celebrate. But owners soon discovered something nobody expected regarding quality consistency. Two seemingly identical Chimeras could deliver completely different ownership experiences, turning some purchases into gambles rather than guaranteed pleasure. Which one surprises you most so far? Nothing compares to what happened at number 1, though, and number 2 came remarkably close. Number 2. Aston Martin Virage. Aston Martin opened the decade with the Virage, a hand-built Grand Tourer meant to relaunch the marque's fortunes after years of uncertainty, powered by a substantial V8 engine and dressed in bold, angular styling. Buyers investing serious money expected exclusivity, craftsmanship, and the prestige that came wrapped around every panel of a genuine British supercar experience. The cabin oozed leather and old-world British luxury, precisely what wealthy buyers anticipated from the famous badge. Yet the driving experience disappointed critics almost immediately upon launch. The Virage was widely regarded as a disaster both inside and out, representing a poor start to Aston Martin's new decade. Build quality issues undermined the sense of occasion that owners had paid handsomely to experience. Engineers believed they had learned lessons from previous Aston models. But they hadn't, not entirely, and early adopters discovered problems that no amount of prestige badge could disguise. Owner disappointment ran deep among enthusiasts who had waited years for Aston's comeback moment. The final entry, though, became something else entirely, a car that owners still find genuinely difficult to defend. Number 1. Reliant Robin. And here we are at the top spot. Reliant revived the Robin name in 1989, and this three-wheeled fiberglass runabout carried straight through the 1990s as one of Britain's most recognizable, and most divisive, small cars. Built at Tamworth with a lightweight 850 cubic centimeters engine, it promised remarkable fuel economy and cheaper road tax thanks to its unusual three-wheel layout. For budget-conscious buyers, the appeal on paper seemed genuinely sensible. The single front wheel steered the car, while two fixed rear wheels completed a configuration that looked charmingly eccentric in the showroom brochure. Fuel economy genuinely impressed, and running costs stayed refreshingly low for cash-strapped motorists throughout the decade. But the real surprise came the moment cornering speed increased even slightly. The Robin became widely nicknamed the Widowmaker, owing to its tendency to become unstable and roll over on its own during enthusiastic cornering. Owners found themselves the subject of national jokes, further cemented when the BBC gave one to a beloved sitcom rogue as his signature vehicle. Nothing else on this list embarrassed owners quite so publicly, or so permanently, as driving a Robin. The 1990s revealed a British motor industry caught between genuine ambition and persistent old problems, chasing prestige and cleverness while reliability quietly slipped through the cracks. Some cars promised brilliance and delivered disappointment instead, leaving owners with stories they still tell today, some fondly, others reluctantly. Which of these 10 surprised you most? Did your family ever own one of these cars, and would you drive one again now? Share your memories and experiences in the comments below, we genuinely love reading them. If you enjoyed this journey through forgotten British motoring history, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to Britain Rewind for more content on British automotive history, and we'll see you in the next amazing video.